Alright, Soul Glow, Diaspora Problems album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning. Here to chat about this latest from Soul Glow. These guys are a Philly-based hardcore band. They've been making some big waves in the genre over the last couple of years, and no, it is not hard to see why at all. Their early releases, like their Untitled EP as well as their subsequently Untitled LP, showed two things, and that was a great appreciation of the classic days of hardcore, like a deep appreciation for it, and B, a wild versatility that I hadn't seen in the genre in quite some time. Not only all of that, but they were dealing with social issues head on, doing really well too. By the time of their Songs to Yeet at the Sun EP, these guys were absolutely rocking my world. They were bringing in elements of hip-hop and electronic really well too, but they were also sticking to their guns, which leads me to these new singles. Wow, they are really good. Let's chat about this thing. This album starts off with Gold Chain Punk, Who's Gonna Beat My Ass, and honestly, yeah, it's awesome. This is a wild-eyed start with a whole lot of charisma and a whole lot of noisy bars. It hits hard, but it's also really passionate. It's something that you don't always get in modern hardcore. Don't sleep on this track though, or think that it's gone soft. It will beat your ass. This track and this album is for fans of punk throughout the years, as well as, dealing with some more social issues and doing it really well. And yeah, it's really necessary. I'm up for seconds. We then get Coming Correct Is Cheaper, and let me tell you, there is an urgency behind this album that is so refreshing. Half of these tracks sound like they are needed to be heard, so desperate to be heard, and that is what punk is all about, man. I love the sort of chaotic middle verses that we get here, as well as the streamlined outer verses. This is hitting so many angles in modern punk, but it's also paying attention to smaller details like the vocal snippets and the sound effects. The production as well. The thing is, at its roots, at its core, this is a straight up old school hardcore album, but Soul Glow did something very interesting and very smart, and that is really take a lot of risks on this album, and 90% of them pay off. They do it completely with no fear as well, which is so good. Thumbsucker, also really great. I mean, I'm a guy who grew up with a lot of Fishbone and Bad Brains in his life, and you can definitely see the influence of both here. It's almost like sensory overload. You need to listen to some of these tracks a couple of times, but it's insanely rewarding. The intense performances, especially vocally, the horns here, the commentary. It's so good, and not only is this the best, deep cut here, this is one of the best punk tracks I've heard in a while. We then have Jump or Get Jumped by the Future. This track has blown my mind since I first heard it. This is just another wild-eyed punk track with some rap influence and a serious message that kinda is the bread and butter of this album. But I dare you to try and take in this all at once without a second listen. It's pretty mind-blocking. The performances are great. The production is fantastic. I'm just so happy with this. And the urgency, once again, it's a knockout. And I love how this track doesn't let up at all until it just burns itself out. I mean, I don't have too many issues. I'm not that big on Fucked Up If True. I mean, this track is pretty insane. It's a wake-up call. It's full of energy. It doesn't waste a single second, but sadly, it also doesn't have the same personality as the rest of the album, which is really disappointing, actually. Also, not that big on John Jay, featuring Zula Wildheart, as well as Catherine Edwards. Look, this album is a game changer, and it is one of the most exciting rock releases I've heard all year. But this just kind of sounds rehashed. This sounds like 8 other tracks here. And yes, things do get a little bit better as the track rolls on. Things shift a little bit. But it's oddly unfocused, and, there's not too many tracks on here that crack the 4-minute mark, but this is one of them, and you could absolutely tell, because it feels like it takes a lot longer than it actually does. Outside of that, though, man, album is an absolute shock to the system. Triponomics featuring Mother Mary Rose, I've loved it since it first dropped. I love the hip-hop element, I love the blaring industrial beat, and Mother Mary Rose's feature is fantastic. It's moments like this that take this from just being another hardcore album to something much bigger and something much more game-changing. 5 Years in My Family is really good too. Actually, I needed a little bit of a fresh breath of fresh air here, and it gives me a little moment of relief, but you know what? It's very effective, because when this track does take off again, I'm actually ready for it. Also, love the more electronic side of this track, a la Turnstile. I really hope you still have some energy left, because this album still has some twists and turns, like the Thangs I Carry featuring Bearcat. This is a raw, explosive track. I sincerely enjoy the percussion on this track so much. And Bearcat's hypnotic spoken word performance here is actually really interesting. It mixes things up just enough, and that's something that this album does really well, because this very easily could have been a very solid hardcore album, but no, the twists, the turns, the experiments, the risks, and the rewards make this something very special. We Want Revenge is one of the weirdest and off-kilter tracks here. This riff is an odd one. The bass is funky, lyrically it's very poignant. These guys did their freaking homework. And some of the details, once again, like the sound bites that they use, it's so simple yet so effective. God Bless Y'all real good, honestly. It's one of the best deep cuts here. It's a great late album left hook. Like, good luck keeping seated for this entire album. It's gonna be a work. But even though this is the 11th of 12 tracks here, this has some of the album's most coherent thoughts and its best breakdowns. And then that beat that comes in the second half, my god, this is awesome. We also get as a finale spiritual level of gang shit featuring McKinley Dixon as well as Logie, and yeah, it's one more left hook. I love this so much. The dreamier vibes once again are really classy. Turnstile did something so well with that last year, but Soul Glow right here, like, taking it up a notch. Great riff, great breakdown. The rap verses are so slick. Some of the twists and turns we get in the final minute are breathtaking. This band has so much good stuff going on right now. This is a great sound from Soul Glow, and I think they could do more with it, honestly. It is wild. It is unpredictable. It is chaotic. It is poignant. It is insane. It is very well written and well thought out. It is incredibly exciting. It's one of the best punk albums you're going to hear all year. That's about it. I'm feeling a very strong 8, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.